Yeah, welcome everyone to Recruitment FD's weekly partner webinar. So this week we're here with IMS Decimal, which are our offshore accounting and finance back office partner. IMS have a really deep expertise in the recruitment sector, and with nearly 20 years experience, they're one of the most trusted brands in the space. So we're really excited and pleased they're part of our partner program. So in today's webinar, we're going to be just looking at what is offshoring, how it fits into your business model, and what the sort of business benefits you can expect. And we have Fenil, Nicola, and Nicola joining us from IMS today. So I think we have a roughly 20-minute presentation, then a Q&A. So with no further ado, let me hand over to Fenil and Nicola.
Thanks, Keith. Hi, everyone. So I just want to introduce myself first of all. So I'm head of sales for financial services based in the UK. So I support all of our clients based over here onshore. So you have the support of myself. I will pass it over to Fenil now. He's obviously going to tell you a little bit more about our services, who we are, what we do. And then obviously you'll have an opportunity at the end for questions as well. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. To introduce myself, Fenil Shah, qualified chartered accountant. I'm a fellow member of ICAI, that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I've got 15 years of experience into accounts and finance. I'm working with IMS for more than 9 years now. That is my experience into outsourcing sector. I help the recruitment sector, finance controller and a CFO to make their back office more efficient and streamlining, and to set up their offshoring or outsourcing unit to make their back office more efficient. So that's me moving forward. So in today's presentation, I will be covering off the few outsourcing myths, how outsourcing should be working, some bonus tip, how efficiently you can run the outsourcing myth, and at last I'll be covering off who we are and how can we make outsourcing effective for through our organization. So basically, when we talk about offshoring or outsourcing, there are many myths around it. Let's start with the first myth that always comes to the mind of to everyone is that offshoring is a cheaper work. I don't think so. That's the fact. It's just a myth, because when you outsource, there are a lot of things that you need to be considered. Though you get the outsourcing benefit at a lower cost, but then you're investing your time, you're investing your resources, you're investing your processes. There's a lot of things that you're keeping at the stake. So if outsourcing does not work efficiently, it impacts your brand, it impacts a lot of other aspects that you're investing into. So it's not in the long term, it can be more expensive if you don't consider it in the right way. Also, people have a myth that offshoring is a quick fix. That's not the fact. It takes a time to set up the outsourcing in the offshoring unit, because when you offshore, you will have to map out your processes, you'll have to train your resources, how it will work. You have to involve them into what your organization does and what the roles and responsibilities look like. So it's not a quick fix. It's a strategic decision. You need to think about it. It's a long-term solution. And it's not an immediate that if you dump it, you'll get it. No, that's not it. That's not how offshoring works. Also, people have a myth that it's a turnkey solution, that once it has been given, you are relieved from your problems. That is also not a fact, because it is your investment, your time and efforts that you will be involving into it to make it successful. So it does not work in a turnkey way also. People do have a myth that offshoring relieves you from the responsibilities. That is also not a fact, because it is you who is ultimately responsible to make the offshoring successful. Offshoring works with a partnership. So that's the difference between offshoring and outsourcing. When you say outsourcing, it's been implied that you have done the job and they will be doing. And when you say offshoring, it's a partnership that you need to deal with. So it is your extended team member sitting over there executing those jobs. So it is overall everyone's responsibility. It's not just at one-handed, it is at both-handed that offshoring works. People also think that if I offshore, I've done with my problems, and it is their responsibility to fix it, and it is their job. No, that's not the fact. Whenever there are any challenges, whenever there are any problems, and if you offshore without fixing it, it won't work. So you should not offshore or outsource until unless you have all your processes being settled down or working accurately the way it should be. Definitely, you can lean on their expertise and ask their advice how to fix it. That will be working. But it's a myth that you can outsource your problem. No, you can have a consultancy from them. You can ask for your advices from them that how to solve that problem. But your problem is still your problem. And people do think so that the data is unsafe if it's been outsourced. They have a myth that the data is not safe. People will take a printout, people will share with others, and they may lose their IP, that is your data. But that's again a myth. I would say when you outsource, if you have got the right partners, they have got high amount of securities, they have high firewalls, physical access restrictions, no printers, no screenshots, so your data is still safe. So these are the commonly myths that people have about outsourcing. What the real outsourcing is and why people should outsource and why people are inclined towards outsource is something that I can let you know. So these are the common factors that why people should be offshoring and why probably people are continuously looking for outsourcing. So there is a shortage of talent globally on the Western side, whereas in India, we have got 65% of population who is aged between 18 to 35. So we have got abundance of talent. We speak well, we understand English, we have got all the different sort of talents. And that is the one of the reason that we can support with more manpower than what any Western countries can do. So there is abundance of talent in India against the shortage of a talent on a Western side. And you find it good talent, dedicated talent easily over there in India or any Asian countries. So that is also one of the reason that people are looking for outsourcing or offshoring. When we speak about technologies, in the traditional days, it was difficult to share the data, to share the details, to share the information, because either you need to have to post it or courier it, and that's how it used to work. Whereas in today's era, in a digital era, the data can be transferred, information can be transferred, everything can be transferred easily, and that has lead to offshoring or outsourcing because of the convenience of data access. Cost is one of the reason. So people in a Western side can get easily access to the similar qualified people with the similar experience resources at almost 50% of cost. So that is also one of the reason that people have started considering offshoring. Before, the infrastructure was one of the challenge in those eastern side of countries. But now the infrastructures have been well developed. Those are equivalent to those of Western countries. And that is also the reason that people have started outsourcing. So we have got an access to 100% electricity and high-tech technologies and firewalls and restricted access and world-class infrastructures. So those are the reasons that people are now looking towards outsourcing. So these are the commonly areas that people have identified or reasons that one should look for outsourcing and people are looking for outsourcing. Moving ahead, the key tips for the success of outsourcing, how people should look at outsourcing and in what way they should go. So the first and basic thing is that when you want to outsource, you should be very clear what are the processes that you want to outsource, how the outsourcing will be done, what will be the key roles and responsibility of each individuals, what are the projects that you are looking for. You cannot be outsourced in an ambiguity that, okay, let me reach out to them and then they will let me know what they can do or what they cannot do. No, that's not the thing. You should be clear that what you want to go with and where you need a support from the third party or external party or your extended team member will be sitting in India. So you need to be having 100% clarity what you want to outsource and what your outcome should look like. Until unless you should never take a step for it. Once you have a clarity that, okay, these are the jobs, and these are the works, and this is the task that I want to outsource, you need to be committed. You need to enroll your managers. You need to enroll your key stakeholders to get it done. Being a CEO or a CFO, if you make a decision that you want to outsource, it does not work like that until unless your managers or your executives or your team members have been enrolled into it. If they are not enrolled into it, they will find 1,000 reasons for not outsourcing or for finding their faults. It's a strategic move. It's a partnership that we are doing. So always we should enroll your stakeholders, your managers, your key account managers to get it enrolled and then only outsource it. There should be a communication, clear-cut communications happening with the third party whom you want to outsource. You should let them know that this is what I want to outsource. These are the expected outcomes. These are the key stakeholders who will be working with you. Without those transparent communication, and if you go out with the ambiguity, it will never succeed. Also, you need to choose your right partner. So there are many outsourcing companies who have done a specializations into their domain. So do identify the right partners whom you would like to work with. Maybe if it's an accounts outsourcing or RPO side or IT outsourcing or marketing outsourcing, identify the right partner with the expectations after having a sufficient conversations with them that this is what you're looking for and these are my expectations, whether you will be able to deliver it or not. So that's choosing the right partner. Also, you should have a realistic expectations. If you have unrealistic expectations, you will always be disappointed. So it is more of a likelihood that the outcome from those resources will be the same as what you have someone sitting in your office, but you should not expect above and beyond that. You should definitely look at the ROI for the investment that you are making, but having an unreasonable expectations will also upset you, demotivate you for outsourcing, and at last you will be struggling and cursing yourself that why did I outsource? So do have a realistic expectations and do explain to your managers or your team members that it's your extended team member and have a realistic expectation. Once the expectations have been set, clear-cut communications has been done, you identify the right partner, do invest into implementations. Because if the implementation goes wrong, the whole process goes wrong. So map out the right processes, get into communication, make a process note, share it with their L&D team, get your team members trained over it. And that's where you can start working on it. So you should always emphasize on your implementation plan and make sure that whenever the process has been implemented, you do involve yourself into it and make sure that the implementation is done in right way, trainings have been done, and things are working the way it should be. Once the implementation is done, always give an honest feedback that how the things are working. Do share or do have a weekly review calls, bi-weekly review calls, monthly review calls with the managers, with the executives, with the management over there, and do share them with your feedbacks and give them an opportunity to fix the things if they are not working, because it's not a magic that will happen the first day or first moment. It's a long-term relationship that we should be developing. So these are the way, or this is the pathway that one should look forward when they are looking for an outsourcing. So it's all about identifying the need, getting enrolled to your team member, making that communication to the partners, identifying right partners, implementing it, and having a consistent communication with them and having a touch base with them will always lead you to a successful outsourcing department or a division. Moving ahead, there are some bonus tips. So as we have gone through how the outsourcing should be done or outsourcing should be implemented, some realistic expectations or bonus tips that I would say how the offshoring is always successful is first you should acknowledge the real cost. The cost of saving should not be considered just by the salary. You should look at the values. What are the values that the outsourcing is coming or bringing up with? So it might be possible that they are investing into their IT technology, their learning and development technology, they are training, they are emphasizing, they are letting their employees travel and see you guys, see your culture. So that is more important than just cost. So you should acknowledge all the values that they are bringing on the table and not only the cost saving that is happening. We should understand that it's a long-term game. It's a not short-term gain. In a long term, you will have an amazing results, and that is your offices, your captive house, or your offshoring team whom you need to believe into. So it's a long-term game, and it's a not a short-term. Have patience, have faith, and you will always get a success into it. You need to tweak. You need to do the customizations. Each organization have their own way of performing the job. That is the reason they are successful. So customization is needed. You can lean upon that standardized process, but then always do come back and let them know what your process look like. So get those customized the way your organization looks into. You should always maintain the accountability. You should give an ownership to your onshore team to make sure that your offshore team is delivering. Without that, it's not possible. So keep the consistency of accountability, give it to your managers to make sure that they are looking into it, they are supporting what the need look like. There will be challenges, there will be hiccups, but you need to deal with them on an immediate basis, make a communication clear, give them an opportunity to fix it, and it will work. Treat their employees as if they are part of your employees. It's your extended team member sitting over there. Motivate them, incentivize them, uh, give them an incentive of maybe say bonus or a lunch or a trip. Make them feel as if they are part of your organization and is your extended team member, which will really motivate them. And focus on the values that they bring in. So they will always share how to optimize the processes, how to make it more effective, and what automations they can bring into the system. So focus on the values that they have got it, and this should always work. So these are the few bonus tips for having your own successful offshoring team working for you. Moving ahead, so this was all about outsourcing, the myths, how you should implement it, and how you can have a successful outsourcing your unit or offshore unit. Moving ahead, I will just let you know who we are, what do we do, and what our specializations look like. So we as an IMS group are specialized into an outsourcing sector. We have 18 plus year of experience. Our flagship brand is called IMS People Possible. They are into an RPO service, that is recruitment process outsourcing. We have got IMS Decimal, who are expertise into accounts outsourcing, followed by Enhance, that is marketing outsourcing, Nuclei, this is IT outsourcing, and then we have got DataWise, it's an BPO where you can have any sort of an outsourcing division with us. We do have our People Possible Foundation, that is for the CSR activities that we do globally. So as a brand, we have got several outsourcing specializations unit, and then we do have our own trust to help for the social cause. If we talk about IMS Decimal, I lead the IMS Decimal brand. As an IMS Decimal, we have got 350 staff. We are specialized into recruitment sector, providing accounts and finance back office services. We have got our clients based out in UK, US, Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, and few more JOSA countries, I would say. We have got more than 250 partners globally. We deliver our services from 3 different locations, 2 in India and 1 into Philippines. We are ISO certified, GDPR compliant, cyber essential, HIPAA, and we have done our specialization as an IMS Decimal into staffing and recruitment companies, umbrella companies, factoring companies, and we provide our services to accounting and financial companies in UK, US, and Australia. So this is about IMS Decimal. How do we set apart from other outsourcing companies, or what are the USPs that we have, and how do we support our clients, is that we are 24/7 available. We are quite flexible with the timing. Our resources follow typical hours for the region that they are working. So if we say that if we are working for UK geography, we follow UK hours, we follow UK holidays, but we are flexible to start with the 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 2 a.m. as per the need of the client, so that we can run through all the basic administrative reports. And they have got reports readily available at the desk. The onshore team has got reports readily available at the desk, so that they are productive from the first minute. So that is how we can create a value addition for our clients. We don't bind our clients in a long-term contract. We are pretty flexible with it. So it's a 30 days open notice period. So they can easily scale up, scale down as per their need. So for example, if you've got a construction recruitment company and they have got a high amount of timesheets coming in, a huge number of volume during summertime, they can easily scale up for a month or two, and then they can request us that we don't need those resources. So that's a flexibility that we have got. We have got SMEs for each division, each department across the globe. So when we talk about UK geography, we have got PAY expert, management accountant expert, self-assessment tax filing, corporation tax filing returns, credit control, management accountants. So each resources in our team are being guided, trained, and coached by these SMEs. So we make sure that if they have any queries or if they are stuck anywhere, those managers steps in, chips in, and support them and make sure that the deliverables are being made as they need be. We have L&D department, that's where our resources are been continuously learning from them. So the job of a L&D department is to train our resources before they hit the floor. So they go through the rigorous training of 30 days before they hit the floor. And we explain them for which client they are going to work and what process they are going to work. So it's a 3-week theoretical training and 1 week on-job training that they do, so that from the day one they know what are they going to work upon. We have got our onshore support. So for UK, US, and Australia, we do have our onshore members who, if need be, can step down to the client office, understand the challenges if there are any, map out the processes if need be, and push those works or solve those queries and be in a communication with the offshore team in India, who help them to solve the challenges if there are any in terms of offshoring or within their organization. We are GDPR compliant, ISO certified. We have our employees been like ACCA, CPA, so they are the qualified accountants. As per the requirement of a client, we deploy them as the need be. We are software proficiency, so we know majority of the software that are prevailing in the market, like Zero, QuickBooks. We are certified reseller or we are partners with them, and we know majority of the softwares like RSM, InTime, InPay, Timesheet Portal, TempPay, BrightPay, or whatever the payrolling or pay and bill softwares look like. And we have a cost benefit, so cost transparency. We charge for the resources for only the number of days that they have work, and we don't charge for the resources if you're not able to provide them with a backup resource or if they are on leave. So this is the typically how we work with our clients, and this is how we create the value addition for our client. So thank you guys. This is all about outsourcing and of ourselves. I'm quite open with the question and answer. And also, I think so we have got few of our clients on this call. So maybe I may ask any of them to share their experience, how outsourcing has worked for them, and what their experience look like. So let me just look. So I think so. Yeah, go ahead. I think so. We have got Vimal. Vimal, if you can share your experience as a client, that how has offshore worked with you, and
Sure.
what your experience look like.
Sure. I mean, from my side, I think Fenil's been very modest in terms of holding their hand and, holding their hand through the processes, etc. My experience has been that they're the experts in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to software or processes or best practices. They're the ones that have got so many, recruitment clients. They understand the recruitment process of timesheet processing, the pay and bill, the self-billing, the self-billing reconciliations that are needed. And my experience has been I've been able to just throw things at them, and if my dedicated resource doesn't know the answer and I don't necessarily have the time, that resource has got a massive team of sort of 300 people, 350 people. Somebody knows the answer within that team, and it's just great that you could just throw a process at them. Of course, you need to hold their hand because every business has their own unique process, but they will pick it up. Whenever you have an onboarding call or an implementation call, there'll be 3 or 4 people on that call from different teams. The pay and bill team or the management accounting team, depending on what the process is that you're outsourcing, and they will record the sessions. They'll make sure that everybody understands. If anybody else then needs to pick that up, they can from those recordings. But yeah, for me, it's been a really successful partnership. It's been I was quite nervous at first, but now I can speak highly of IMS and what they do and how quickly they can pick things up. So yeah, I'd be happy to recommend them.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the audience? Great.
No questions.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for that, Fenil. That's great, and we're bang on time as well. So yeah, all good. So we'll be sending the recording around to everyone who's come today, and we'll send it around to our whole group as well. We'll also be sharing the contact details of IMS directly. So if you want to contact Fenil and Nicola directly to talk about your business and how they can help you, you can reach out directly. But if not, have a great afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.